Chef got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess out to think, cause we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start this show.
Well, hello, comic book canon. I'm not at home, so I'm really out of my place. I'm just don't know what I'm dealing with in terms of my surroundings. I'm just not feeling myself, Joseph. Talk to me.
Well, that's okay. I am also a little bit out of sorts. You're currently away. I'm going away as of tomorrow. This is called the Jet Set lifestyle. It comes with the level of success that we have here on Comic Book Canon. Already just starting the show, we have 5 million viewers currently. So that level of success breeds opportunity, breeds, a lot of pressure, disruption for sure.
In our lives, yeah.
You're currently, am I remembering correctly, in Dubai, talking with a couple crown princes there. I will be going to Tokyo. I will be having quite a few business meetings with the fine business people of Tokyo, Japan, and we're gonna kind of see what we can bring to the table as far as comic book canon improvements go.
And I don't think the Canon crew understands the level of organization we need to have as an organization.
Yes,
to hand these meetings off. It's like, okay, who's going to Japan? Who has to go to Dubai? Like it's those types of things,
right?
That the work that we put in for the Canon crew here, the work we put in for all of you, I don't think it's necessarily appreciated, but we still love you. Is that right, Joe? Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, and even tonight alone, Naomi currently is in Wakanda on official Comic Book Canon business, and given that they are a secretive nation, she actually can't stream from there.
No,
so she won't be joining us tonight. It's just something that's part of this whole Comic Book Canon growth.
Yeah, for sure. But again, we do these things for you. We sacrifice. We leave our families behind for the canon. They know what they got themselves into as well. True. So again, we enjoy having being able to do this for you all. With that said, we're just going to start the show. Let's start the show because anything can happen on a comic book canon, and you all know that for sure. With that comes episode 232. Let's talk about an issue 232, Joe. And it's interesting. We never, other than Dan, we never really talk about it before the show or what have you. So I'm wondering if you have a clue as to what issue 232 is. And please, people in the watching live, please let us know what you think it is before we reveal it. Joe, what is it?
232. I'm gonna go with, oh man, this is a tough one actually, because I'm thinking of a lot of issues that are good in the 240s and 250s. 232. Is it the Amazing Spider-Man issue?
Oh man, dude. I can't believe you didn't get this. I was like, Joe's definitely going to get this, and I set you up. I thought to knock it out of the park.
Hulk.
You didn't.
Oh, is it Hulk 232?
Not even close.
Oh my gosh! Wow. As soon as that came up on the screen, I kind of felt like a big dummy idiot. Wow.
You're not. It's not, because there's so many options here. But yeah, this is Batman 232. It marks the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul, the immortal eco-terrorist mastermind who would become one of Batman's most dangerous and philosophical foes, created by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. Ra's al Ghul added global scale mystical undertones and a chilling calm to Batman's rogues gallery. This issue isn't just a first appearance. It's the beginning of the League of Assassins, Talia's storyline, and eventually, Joe, the origin of Damian Wayne. This is a good Bronze Age cornerstone, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, it's definitely one of the most sought after Neil Adams covers, not just because it's a great cover, but because it does have the featured character on the cover there, displayed very prominently in amazing Neil Adams artwork.
I mean, incredible Neil Adams artwork. A classic, obviously, that's an understatement. It's such a great cover right there. Just want to point out that Paul Bond, and Derek got this right. And Brian Klotz, I think Brian Klotz of Slick Jolly is still trying to get a copy of 232.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this is a good point. Derek, need to poll the audience for pronunciation, race or Raz. I say race.
Yes, it's supposed to be pronounced Raish.
Oh, really? It is? Okay.
And watch the Batman animated series. That's how it's pronounced in that.
Good point.
I think that, in my opinion, Batman animated series is an extremely accurate portrayal. So yeah, don't go with. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, it's Ra's al Ghul in the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, but they also pronounced a couple different names wrong, and also hired a white guy to play the character of Ra's al Ghul. So a Scottish white guy at that. And they had a white Bane too. Come on, like, what are they doing?
Burn. Anyways, okay. Well, we're gonna move on from that, but definitely a classic issue for you there. We'll have 233 next week. By the way, next week is Comic-Con. So we're gonna have a lot of news, I'm sure. Josh, we're gonna segue here, Josh, bringing in the news. The big beef, Joe. The big beef himself. Oh, snap. I'm gonna have to reveal this a little bit later because I forgot to upload it. But we're going to move on to the news with the big beef himself right there. This is last week's big beef image, Joe. What do you think here? You like that overall?
Ooh,
no idea why we have a bee themed in there, but we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it going and hopefully have a new big beef image every week.
I love it. This is, I mean, nothing has amplified the quality of the canon quite like the big beef. I'm not talking about Josh himself. I'm talking about the fact that we call him the big beef now.
I know. And it sticks. It's more weirdness and proof that anything can happen on a comic book canon. But let's just get to it.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
Joshua, how are you, buddy? A little bit busy this week, huh?
Yeah, I got some big beef right now. First of all, this dude comes out, issue number 232. Can't think of what it could be.
Oh, wow.
And he sold me a copy of my personal PC copy I bought from him, right? And it's Ra's al Ghul, not Race al Ghul or Waka Ghul. It's Ra's al Ghul.
No, it's not.
Oh, my God.
Ra's al Ghul.
Here we go. More big beefing, I would say, for sure. And I'm trying to get this big beef image up that I forgot to download, I guess. So why don't we just get right into it? Can we please do that? Can we get along for just at least 45 minutes here?
Let's do it.
Again, I do feel all out of sorts trying to find all this stuff. Let's do it, Josh. Get to it.
So, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has been delayed again to June 25th of 2027. I believe the original date was a couple months before this, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not a big delay. But for some of those that are waiting to see the last entry in the Spider-Verse trilogy, gonna have to wait a little bit longer on this one.
I'm not happy, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bummer. This has kind of trailed on quite a little bit longer than we thought it was going to, which is a little bit worrisome. I will say, the first movie was phenomenal, like A+. I was not as happy with the second movie. I liked it still, don't get me wrong, but I'm a little bit worried we're going to see another drop in quality, especially with how long this has taken. So fingers crossed that they're making sure that it's it wraps things up nicely, and let's hope it's even better than the second.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that. Honestly, if anything is going to happen here, it's going to be higher quality because the time that they're putting into it. The creators are really, really, really well versed in terms of what they're doing with this project, as well as being allowed the time to get it right. So I'm super frustrated about it because I remember, Joe, you're saying you're okay as long as it ends up being a really good movie,
right?
You're fine with this. But now, again, after yet another delay, I'm not fine with it. I haven't been fine with it, and your level of being fine with it has probably dropped a little bit. Is that correct?
Yeah. Obviously, we don't want things too close together, but we also don't want things spread out like ridiculously. I think 2 to 3 years at most, and I think it's already it's good. This is going to definitely surpass 3 years.
Yeah, again, look. you got to give time for people to actually create. But it's just I'm a little.
Right.
It is.
I mean, think about it. It's 2 years from now. Like that's what I mean. We're gonna have by the time this comes out, Secret Wars is gonna be right around the corner.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a big kind of a big. I'm trying to get this freaking big beef up, and it's driving me crazy. It's going to be a. Let's just move on to the next story, shall we, please?
Yeah, so this is somewhat good news, but somewhat concerning news. A new Dredd movie is in the works. It's being written by Drew Pierce, who's writing the script. But however, the director is the one that has me a little bit concerned. So Taika Waititi, if I pronounce his name right, the director of Love and Thunder.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I bouched that name bad. I honestly, I want a new Drudge film. I would love a sequel, honestly, to the one we got from 2012. Obviously, going in a different direction. I don't know about this, man. Thor Ragnarok was great, and then he made Love and Thunder, which was just trash. I don't know what happened. So we're gonna have to see what happens with this film. Hopefully, it's good, though. We'll have to see. If not, the Dredd IP may end up going dead again for another, 10 plus years. We'll have to see what happens.
Joe, please take this because I got things to say.
Yeah, I don't like what he does with comic book movies. They're too silly. With a silly character, sure, it'd be fine. Judge Dredd is not a silly character, right? I'm not thinking about this wrong here. Yeah, I think the Pope of Chillytown would love to weigh in on this one at some point. I don't know if he's in the.
I talked to him. I DM'd him about this.
Yeah, he's a big Judge Dredd fan, so I can't imagine him being very happy about this. More like Judge Dead. That's good, Derek.
I don't have a problem with this. Taika Waititi, he directed a really entertaining movie in Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, Love and Thunder was, but I have full faith. I have full faith in him actually having a nice spin on Judge Dredd. Now, I will be very disappointed if Karl Urban does not reprise his role as Judge Dredd because that movie was awesome. It was not Sylvester Stallone movie, which was garbage. This movie, hopefully they'll be able to build off of that world. That's what I'm hoping. Because remember, there was a time, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, that they were looking to do Judge Dredd as a television show on was it Amazon Prime? And again, super excited. So bring it back, bring Karl back, and hopefully Taika. I think Taika he would do a great job with that. So.
I don't know. Like Joe said, he's more of a comedy kind of guy, making things fun, and Judge Dredd's a brutal dude who just kills people and kicks ass, all out of bubble gum, that kind of thing. So.
Well, anyways, all right. Before we do that, I just want to show. Let's all just take a moment to appreciate the big beef. Shall we?
The big beef.
Take a moment to actually take a snapshot of this picture for yourselves, everybody, and do what you will with it. We'll have
why am I like in a kid's store? If I'm reading that right in the background.
No, that's a comic book convention right there.
Yeah, but it says kids.
And I love how you recognize the fact that you are a bee with a human head. So why am I doing that? All right, let's move on to the next story, shall we? I see the judge is in the backstage area and very excited to get him on the show. So we have to get on here. Let's
so speaking of the
Joe
judge,
has an early flight tomorrow as well. So keep it rolling.
So speaking of the judge, he might be interested in some of this news because he saw a film earlier related to this. The Flash and Aquaman are not expected to be introduced in the DCU within the next 2 years. That came straight from James Gunn a few days ago. He's been doing nothing but a bunch of press and touring around even after Superman. Honestly, I'm not surprised. They're going to build out the world. They're going to see different projects come and go in the next couple of years. I would at least like a mention of them. Obviously, after the Flash film, I'm sure nobody really wants to see the Flash currently right now. I'm just saying that's what I hear from the internet. But it'll be interesting also to see if we're going to get Wally West, if we're going to get Barry Allen, or maybe get both. We'll have to see. But hopefully we'll see them sooner within 2 years. If not, I'm going to have to wait out.
Joe.
Yeah, I think this is good. I mean, we've recently seen both these characters. They've both had a movie in the last couple of years. They were, solo movie in the last few movies of the DCU. We have one of the actors that played one of these characters coming back in a new role. So yeah, I think it's fine to take a break from these characters, and with what we saw in Superman, they have plenty of stuff going on. They have plenty of things to flesh out. There's no reason to incorporate all the big names, which I would certainly consider Flash an A tier character, and Aquaman a B tier character. There's no reason to just throw all these bigger name characters in the mix right away. Obviously we got a bunch of characters ranging from, I would say, A tier to D tier characters in the Superman movie. And they just need to keep doing that, building out a little bit at a time.
Yeah, I'm fine with this too. I don't think it's left a bad taste in the mouths of these characters. It left a bad taste in people's mouths because they were not good films. Aquaman 1 was cringy at moments. Aquaman 2 was just a mess. And honestly, the Flash, guys, that was so disappointing, especially with all the hype and how everybody, it was awful. It was awful. And we want to erase that from our memory. So having a little bit of a break from that and being able to concentrate on a Mr. Terrific or Guy Gardner or even the Green Lantern show, it's all, let's do it. I am all for it while they flesh this out. And honestly, we used to say in Feige we trust. I'm saying in James Gunn we trust as well. So very happy. And by the way, I am a little bit toned down tonight because I am in a hotel in Dubai. It's very late. Do not want to be waking people up. So if you're expecting the usual canon, what's the word we're looking for, Joe?
Chutzpah.
I can't bring it tonight because people will be very angry at me, but I'm going to eat some Dubai chocolate, Joe. And by the end of the episode, I want to know what you're going to bring back for everybody from Tokyo. All right, moving on. Our next news story. By the way, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We are the number 1 live show of all time in all shows, even plays dating back to Shakespeare. We're number 1. It's mathematical. It's mathematically proven. And if you need to see the numbers, Joe has them. Moving on.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. A live-action Captain Planet series is in the works at Netflix. We'll have to see how this works out for Netflix. Maybe they'll dip into the superhero role, and they did have some Marvel shows on quite a few years ago. I don't know if this is going to be a big hit. Probably not. I don't think half the generation, especially the younger group of generation now, knows who Captain Planet is. Because I know it was kind of a thing in the 80s and 90s. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this and if it goes forward anywhere and if it's actually good.
I just hope, my only comment about this is that I hope they get Don Cheadle to reprise his role as Captain America.
I think that was Funny or Die. For
those of you who don't know, there was a spoof Captain America, Funny or Die, or some YouTube channel or internet comedy channel, and they got Don Cheadle to play Captain America, Captain Planet, and it looked so funny.
It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious, and you need to check it out. As for this specific news story, Josh, can we file this into the I don't give a shit, really? Can we move on to the next story file cabinet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that. Thanks. So moving on, I got some Fantastic Four news, and man, this hurts me, man, because I didn't want this character to be a throwaway character, and it looks like it happened. So it's been confirmed that John Malkovich's Red Ghost, who he was going to play in Fantastic Four, has been cut from the final version of Fantastic Four First Steps. Man, I'm disappointed because John's such a great actor, and I would have wanted him to appear and throughout the MCU and do different things, but obviously that's not the case. The director said that he had to balance things out, and I guess at the end of the day, it didn't fit in towards the end. So I'm guessing his role was pretty small, so disappointing to hear. But however, some of the reviews have been starting to come out for Fantastic Four, and it sounds like Marvel's right on track, and the Fantastic Four is going to do well and it's getting great reviews. So we'll have to see. But again, just disappointed that his character was cut, and I really wanted to see John and see what he could do in there. So yeah,
Joseph.
I love John Malkovich so much, and I was really looking forward to this. But at the same time, like if it wasn't right for the movie, it wasn't right for the movie. You know that there's. I'd rather have a better product than them forcing. Just think when I think about forcing, I think about Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire third Spider-Man movie, where it's very obvious that they were like, yo, you have to shove Venom into this movie. Like Venom should not just should not be in that movie. The movie would actually probably be really solid if it didn't have Venom shoved in there, but that's what happened. Why would we want, you know, this character to be shoved in? You know, I don't know about you guys, but I've never heard anyone be like, yo, Red Ghost is my favorite character. Like, come on. This isn't like that big of a draw. Let's be real. Now, John Malkovich himself, phenomenal actor. Maybe, you know, since this was a minor role, whatever, he can be used again, you know, as the same character or a different character. Either way, it's got to be a good thing for the movie that, you know, they're making cuts.
Yeah. And again, I find it interesting, actually. This is the second time that John Malkovich is missing an opportunity to be in some sort of Marvel film, because he was supposed to be the Vulture in Spider-Man 4, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe, as you say, like the Red Ghost is not a Venom type character. But who knows? Who knows what could happen? When I know this firsthand, when creating either a film or a short piece or what have you, you have an idea and you go into it. Whether it be your script or just a plot outline, and you produce it and you put it together in the edit and you're like, this just isn't working like you thought it was on the paper, right? And you can't force it. You can't force something like that. Now, obviously, Raimi's third Spider-Man, the studio saw like, we can make a ton of money for Venom, so you're going to have Venom. And Raimi's not a director now that would be like, okay, I'll do it. But he was back then, and it was unfortunate because that movie sucks. Coming off of one of the best superhero films of all time in Spider-Man 2. So just something to note. It's best for the film, and the film is getting really good buzz. I don't think they could drop maybe this week, actually. Maybe Monday they're going to be able to start talking about, or you know, be able to release their reviews and things like that. So
no, they started releasing this week on Tuesday, I believe.
Well, it's coming out technically Thursday night. So anyways, we'll see. But again, it's probably going to be something you won't miss anyways. It's not going to be like there was a plot hole of a character.
Right.
It's not going to be like that. So, but it's unfortunate because Malkovich is amazing. So, but yeah, with that, we have to move on. Joe he's got to get to bed.
So going back to some DCU news, I'm happy with this. And if you saw the film, you might have caught a kind of a quick cameo. So James Gunn has confirmed that Dr. Fate is in the DCU. And I can confirm that Dr. Fate actually does kind of make an appearance in Superman. It's a quick...
All right, well, hold on, Josh. Let's not talk anything about that. There are definitely still people that have not seen the movie, so...
Well, I mean, okay, let's put it like this. Technically, it's not
a spoiler. It's not anything.
It's not a spoiler. It's a quick thing that you have to really catch with your eyes. So I would say this. Go back up, watch Superman again. Maybe talk to the guy who's playing the film, pause it at certain moments. But yeah, listen, Paul, hit me up in the DMs, man. By the way, I got an interesting picture from Paul. He was showing me his abs and stuff. I don't know what that was all about, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so hey, Gunn confirmed.
We'll get that up on
we'll talk about that later. So yeah, so Gunn confirmed that Dr. Fate is in the DCU, which I think is exciting. And hey, there's over 3 centuries of characters we can go back to. Give me a Justice Society of America, please, set in the early what? You counting?
3 centuries.
I thought that's what it says. Like 3 centuries, 3 minutes ago, 3 months ago.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Superman. So I'm hoping we can get a JSA storyline going on. We'll have to see what happens, but I think this is cool news anyway.
Real quick, I want to say hello to my wife.
Cool.
Joe, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said cool because you were saying hi to your wife.
Mm.
I think that's really cool.
I was gonna burp, but I was like, nah. I'm gonna be real quick about this. I would love to see Pierce Brosnan reprise his role. I don't think Gunn's willing to do something like that because I think everybody, all of us fans as well, except for the
would he though?
I don't think he would. I don't think he would. I would love to see it. Everybody wants to wipe their hands clean with the DCEU, and Black Adam, man, that was another one. It was just like, Jesus Christ, Zaslav got his hands all over that, having The Rock be the freaking, the figurehead of the DCEU is Black Adam. And it's just like, come on, man. So
I technically have a little bit of news about this
movie.
yeah.
Him and Hawkman were great. So
Sure.
I don't know. But I'm happy with this character is going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, what if I said I was willing to bet that Bronson might actually return to the DCU?
Ooh.
How much are you willing to bet?
I'm kind of very confident. Like I'm willing to bet. I don't know. Like what do you want to bet on?
No,
like,
it's going to be something embarrassing for the person who loses on the canon.
I tell you what, if I lose, if me and you make a bet and I lose, I will come on canon and dress or say anything you want.
Fair.
I will literally paint myself and put big beef on my body.
Okay.
Show's over, guys.
Let's think about this. Everybody put in the chat what you think the punishment should be for losing a bet. We haven't
I'm just gonna say
we haven't made the bet yet.
How about
I'm
this?
just gonna say
Whoever loses has to drink an entire bottle of
slab decks.
We forgot you.
Comic Book Canon brought to you by Slab Decks for all your slab needs.
Yep. Sorry, Slab Decks. We should have had that going the first 15 minutes of the show. All right, moving on.
Yeah, so Superman, let's talk about that. It has crossed over $406 million globally in the box office, which I don't care what a certain group of people says. This is doing well. It's right in between, Jurassic Park that came out 2 weeks ago. Fantastic Four will be coming out next week, so it might slow things down. But it is actually a #1 movie in the box office currently right now, breaking records. People are loving it. It had one of the biggest Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays ever for comic book movies and movies in general. Because usually on Monday, Monday throughout the week, on the second week, things start to drop. This only had like a 52% drop, I think, which is in comparison. If you look at Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Man of Steel, and all the other comic book movies that we've had throughout the history, those all had 60 to 70% drops.
Damn.
So Superman is killing it right now. It's doing great in theaters. However, overseas, it's not. Actually, I believe China just stopped showing it. They pulled it out of the movie theaters. They made less than $6 million at the box office, and supposedly only 2 or 3 tickets were being sold for like there's like 10,000 theaters over there or something, and not many people were seeing it in the box office in China. However, it is catching up in the UK, so we'll have to keep our eye on this. But yeah, Superman.
China is a gigantic market. That is a big loss if that is happening, and that is really unfortunate. However, $407 million is not too shabby at all for the first week. And I'm excited to see again how much globally it's going to accrue by the end of this weekend, right?
So it looks like it may reach, by the end of this weekend, technically, since it's Sunday, they're estimating it might reach up to 500 million by the end of next weekend.
Okay.
But we'll see what, like I said, Fantastic Four hits Thursday night. What is that going to do? Is that going to put it to a halt? I mean, I'm sure people are still going to go see Superman, but now we have to see how much it's actually going to make. I'm hearing estimates that it might make anywhere between 650 to 700 million at the box office at the end of its run. Could be more, could be less. We'll just have to really see what Fantastic Four does. So
yeah, it's not going to hit that 1 billion mark, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean it's a failure. Joseph,
I wonder. I'm actually curious because I think it was Brian who had mentioned that he hasn't seen it yet, so he's going to do a double feature. I wonder if there, and my dad was talking about that as well. I wonder if there's a lot of people that are kind of saving this one, to do a whole movie day. I know plenty of people that goes, movie, dinner, movie, or you can even do a movie lunch movie if it's an early enough showing. But yeah, this could be an opportunity to kind of do a double feature kind of thing. So I wonder if there'll be, a little uptick later this week in Superman viewership as compared to the previous week.
Well, only time will tell. Very excited to see where it lands. We're going to move on though, Joshua. What do we got?
Yeah, so we're going to hit the rumors now. Strictly rumors. No spoilers or anything going on here. Let's start off with some DCU news. So James Gunn says he would love to have Henry Cavill back in the DCU.
No.
Let me tell you something. I have a couple different roles in mind, but there's getting a lot of chatter on the internet. Well, what if Henry came back and he played as our Bruce Wayne, our Batman? I'm going to be honest with you. First of all, if you could pull it off and do it, I think that'd be great. And I think Henry actually has the look and could pull it off as Bruce Wayne. We'd have to see. But I want to hear from you guys that if Henry did return, who would you cast him in the DCU?
I want to hear Joe's thoughts on me. He's dying to talk about this right now, and I need to hear Joe.
Yes, he looks the part. He is a terrible actor, and Batman / Bruce Wayne is the most difficult major character in all of comic books to play, in my opinion. We've seen so many iterations of this character on the screen, and no one has done that good of a job that I, think that they're like above and beyond the best. No one. The only example I could give is Kevin Conroy, but he only, voiced the character other than, one brief cameo in a CW show where he physically was the character. I don't want this. No one should want this. This is terrible. This is not at all what we want. Dan wants to say something, so let's bring him in to say what he wants to say.
Okay,
about
hold on.
this,
We got it. Go ahead, Dan.
Joe, with respect, I don't totally disagree with you, but mostly disagree with you. I've never said Henry Cavill is the greatest actor of all time, but he did a fabulous job as Superman. It's a very difficult role to play. He pulled it off well. I'll give my review later on in the show, but there's some loose ends. His time is done as Superman, but I would love to see. There's one of the biggest loose ends in Hollywood today is when he steps out, Henry Cavill with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, for the Black Adam, and they were going to square off. I'd love to see that movie just once, and then they could end it. It's a slim possibility that Gunn may do that. The first thing that Gunn has to do, and again, this is in my review, is to make money, which he did. And he did a fabulous job with this movie here that I just saw this morning. But there's some loose ends that should be tied, and this is one of them. This would probably be, and if Gunn puts a spin on it too, because again, Gunn is very, very talented, and he's won me over today with this movie. To bring him back and do that Dwayne Johnson thing, and I think it should be done right, and it should not be left as a loose end. That's just wrong. So I don't know what Gunn's going to do, but again, I'm going to speak up for that character and the role that he played. Henry Cavill did a fantastic job as Superman.
The only worse actor than Henry Cavill is Dwayne Johnson.
Well, but here's the thing: he in that role, the thing with that movie, which I saw and I felt in this movie here, you felt the DC vibe. I didn't feel that in most of the other DC shows, but it felt that way with me because you had the Hawkman and you had Dr. Fate, and I'm like, wow, I'm feeling the whole thing. And Dwayne Johnson fit in. It was, again, I didn't have any problem with it because the Black Adam is a badass character. He's an a-hole, but Johnson pulled it off well. I'd love to see just that one last movie, and then those two characters can part ways and be done.
I'm going to tell you guys right now.
It'll never happen.
It will never happen.
No, it should. It probably won't. Again, it's very thin.
They don't care that it's a loose end for fans. I thought Henry Cavill was a good Superman. Not my favorite, but I thought he was a good Superman. I don't see them go. They want to wash their hands of this. Yeah. David Zaslav is a terrible CEO, and he has made some horrible choices.
Yeah.
And that's why they were in the situation they were in. They had people leading the room creatively that should not have had any say, and they were not letting the creators create. So we are in a completely different era, a shiny, golden, beautiful era that this Superman movie does represent. Not saying every movie is going to be bright, shiny, and full of hope like this. You got Clayface coming out, but like, it's not going to happen. And I'm sorry, like, I personally don't want it to happen. I want to move on from that fiasco and be able to enjoy what these characters are and how they should be portrayed on the big screen. So
you can still have both. You can still have both. And all the credit goes to James Gunn, not to Zaslav. Keep in mind, Zaslav has no background in comic books.
Well,
He's never had any background in comics whatsoever. In media, yes, not in comic books. So again, he's sort of he's a numbers guy. His job is to get that company back.
Even his numbers are horrible ideas, merging A&E and WB together. Now they're splitting after a few years. But like, again, he's terrible. And I guarantee you, Gunn and Safran have a clause in their contract saying, we are the people. We are the heads here. Yes, we have to report to the board or something like that.
Right.
But we get final say on all creative. And that's it. I guarantee you that's what they brought, because they wanted Feige. Feige didn't want to do it. They need somebody with that mindset.
Right.
I can confirm two things. What you just said about them having complete control, that's in their contract.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, James Gunn and Stafford, they have 100% say so of what the movie shows. They're not going to have no studio interference at all. Also, I say this too. It was learned just recently that why Black Adam was being made, Dwayne Johnson pretty much was trying to take control of the DCU, and David and him were talking about it. However, what happened was Black Adam didn't come out well received and ended up bombing. So David got rid of him, and they stopped doing talks. Dwayne Johnson originally was going to bring back some of, Zach's characters, but what he wanted to do was he wanted to make Black Adam, believe it or not, like the main figure around the DC universe, and have everybody fight him and have him end up being the big ultimate bad. So we kind of, I think, dodged a bullet there. Like Dwayne in some dumb action films that came out years ago when he first started. But I kind of agree with Joe now. He's just a one-trick pony, and there's like just a bald guy with big muscles. Okay.
All right. Well, we have to move on here because Joe has a bedtime.
I have a bedtime.
So Peacemaker season 2 is coming out in 4 weeks maybe, coming out in the middle of August.
Oh my God.
So James Gunn has said that soon a big event is going to happen in the DCU within the next few years, and that if you watch Peacemaker season 2, you're going to be able to see where this big event's probably going to lead to. So what's being hinted at is that the pocket universe that was in Superman, which is, going to different dimensions, is going to play a big part in Peacemaker season 2. Now, my only thing that I can think of is that in a couple years, we're going to potentially get maybe a Crisis on Earth storyline. And then what he'll do is potentially maybe pull out some of, the JSA from Black Adam, maybe pull out some characters from other DC properties that we've seen before, and, put them all into one universe, close off the Pocketverse, and that would be the reason or how they explain having certain actors return and characters. So we'll have to see. But I'm hearing great things about Peacemaker season 2, and I heard there's quite a few surprise cameos and new characters showing up. So keep your eyes on that.
All right. I do believe. Oh, sorry. We have to comment on this. I'm thinking ahead because I really feel this pressure, Joe, of you having to catch this flight tomorrow to Japan. Joe, thoughts?
The first season was great. I don't. Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but I'm excited for this. John Cena has such a presence. I feel like John Cena is exactly what Dwayne Johnson thinks he is.
Well said.
That's the best way to put it. John Cena is actually hilarious. John Cena is actually he's not a great actor, but he's an okay actor, and he's likable. And I think that Dwayne Johnson thinks that he's that likable, and he's just simply not. So yeah, this is great. I mean, who didn't love, Suicide Squad, the reboot, / the first season of Peacemaker? It was a perfect example of how comic book movies can be silly and can be funny and can be riddled with jokes, and they can still be really, really good.
Have heart, have substance. That's what James Gunn does.
Yep.
That's what he does. And it's so amazing how he always balances that. That's what you're going to get from a James Gunn production, and I love it. Dan, if you have any comments you'd like to add to this, please feel free.
No, I'm going to pass because, I want to respect Joe's time.
Okay. We're going to move on to our last news story, actually. Joshua.
Yeah, so rumor is that Bullseye is going to have a big role to play in Daredevil season 2. I hope that's true. I've seen him in a lot of set pictures anyway, and videos going down. It looks like his presence is very big in season 2. I'm kind of wondering if, he might end up becoming a bit of an anti-hero at some point, because obviously where we left off in Born Again 2, well, season 1, he wanted to fight Kingpin, was going after him. It seems like Matt needs to put together a team. Could we potentially see these two team up together and try to take down Kingpin? And I'll tell you what, if they do, I'd love to see that, because they had that perfect fight in the end of season 3 on Netflix show, and I would love to see that flip around, and we'll have to see. And I think Bullseye, maybe one day could lead another team called the New Avengers.
It's interesting how your arch nemesis is Dory Jordan, and how his favorite character is Bullseye.
I'm sorry, who? Did you say Noel Jordan? Is that
I don't know what that means, but it's interesting. I'm just tying this all in here. And the fact that we could see him team up with his arch nemesis, Daredevil, very interesting. Just wanted to throw that out there. Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. I loved the portrayal of Bullseye in the Netflix series, as well as what we got this in Daredevil Born Again. I've seen a bunch of not set photos as much as just kind of behind the scenes, like the Charlie Cox taking pictures of things, or people taking pictures of with Charlie Cox and the other cast members. And it does certainly seem like Bullseye is going to be a major feature of the season. So whether it's a link up between the characters, or Bullseye is going to remain on the bad guy side, is yet to be said. But either way, you know how stoked I am for this next season.
Very exciting indeed. Joshua, you've done an excellent job with the news today, and I don't have any criticisms.
So excellent that he got your position on the.
He's not that great.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, we're gonna move. Josh,
hold on, everybody. I'm getting word from our control room. We have some breaking news. Okay, let's show the video of this breaking news.
A furry convention is in full swing this weekend, and let's go live to our on-site correspondent.
I love furries, and furry lives matter. Furry lives matter.
Yes, they do, Joe. Yes, they do.
What?
No.
Is going on?
What is that?
That didn't even look like me.
What is going on?
Wait, what? Well, you're kidding me. Okay, so it looks like we have some additional information here. Joe's not being transparent at all about this. Let's roll the footage.
What?
Yo, man, hey, thank you for selling me a portion of your furry collection. I know it's just a small amount. It's just a few thousand books, but I really don't know much about this. If I have any questions, though, I will reach out to you as obviously the expert in this field. I'm not sure also on how to grade. Some of these are sticky, so I don't know, but thanks anyway, and I will keep you in the loop.
Joe?
You got Jeff to make a video for this?
I mean, the Golden Age Guru,
That's
the
hilarious.
Joe, you got some explaining to do here, man.
Obviously from last week, we all found out that you did go to FurryCon 2025.
Hold on, guys.
I don't know what's going on here, Joe. We didn't know this was a part of you. This is something you've hidden from us, and the fact that you sold Golden Age Guru a few thousand books from your personal collection, furry books. Talk to us. What's going on?
Can I plead the fifth here? Can I say no comment?
We're gonna have to do something here, but this is not going away, Joe. As much as you try, it's not going away.
Just delivers the news and rumors.
We accept you for who you are, Joe.
By the way, as the lawyer on the show, if we didn't get the Golden Age Guru's consent, he could sue us.
Well, I think it was sent in, actually. I have to give props to Paul Bond on this whole situation. He's the one that dug this up, sent it into we have a whole other team of producers we've never really brings the limelight. They're in a dark room 24/7, so they're helping us run the show as well. And so Paul got in touch and said, "Hey, I have this information." And Josh, we didn't know it was coming in the show though, Josh. So it was.
Susan, she's in a control room working the controls. She just said, "Hey, I got an earbud microphone in here too." So the control room. She's out in Chicago apparently doing the control room, and she just said, "Hey, listen, you got to hear this." I honestly was shocked. I could not believe what I saw and heard, man.
Again, anything can happen on a comic book canon. So with that said, Dan, we do want to give you time because you didn't get to see the movie as early as we did. So Dan, your thoughts on Superman?
Yeah, I just got some quick notes here, and Josh, you better not get us in any trouble with this one.
By the way, first off, real quick, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Sorry.
Okay, I went into this with an open mind, all right? Because again, I've been as a more than 50-year collector and reader and fan of the comics and all that. I gave it an honest review. Now, let's see. There's a number of things I've been writing down here. It started off with sort of a flavor of the Christopher Reeve 70s Superman, which I liked, with the end credits and so forth, and music and all the rest of it. That was a nice vibe. And I'm certain, Jeff, you appreciated that because that's a special memory for you. It would have helped, though. And any criticism I had was minor criticism. I love the movie overall. I just did. But there was a lot to unpack here. So let me see if I can hustle this out here.
Don't feel any pressure. Joe has to take a 14-hour flight tomorrow. It's not a big deal.
Gotcha. So it would have helped if you were a DC or comic fan or Superman fan because the movie kind of started kind of in the middle of the story, but you caught up quickly. That's a minor issue. David Cornsweet quickly grew on me. He really grew on me. I liked the guy. I liked the character. I liked what he did. He's more of the Boy Scout kind of thing, always looking out for even with his villains. He didn't want to hurt anybody. So I really appreciate it. The only real criticism I had is a little more than at the beginning of the show when his relationship with Lois Lane. He's a little animated. She's a little too aggressive with the whole thing. That washed out as the movie went on, but that bothered me a bit. Keep in mind though that this is the foundation of the DCU moving forward. So it's a very different flavor than what we just saw with Snyder, which is fine. That's totally fine. It's a little more comedic, lighthearted, and that's fine too. If this is the template moving forward, you're going to get most of these movies with that kind of element in each storyline. Which is again, if the fans like it, if you're happy with it, that's totally fine. This is more towards almost the Shazam movie, that was very comedic versus the Man of Steel movie, which is a little more, solid, a little more, not solid, a little more serious, I guess. And I would love to see, now you can, because one character I really like is Zachary Levi's Captain Marvel. He could integrate with the Superman character based on what I saw. But overall, I think, again, I went into this with an open mind saying, we're in the hands of James Gunn. As the biggest criticism I have was what he ended with that thing I just mentioned with Black Adam and Superman, the Henry Cavill Superman. But I think we're in very good hands here. And I wasn't aware until you guys just said he had that clause in his contract that, hey, if I'm going to run this, I'm going to run this. You guys just shut up and let me do my work here. I think we're in really, really good hands here. This opens a whole variety of possibilities. It's going to be a very fun DCU, not necessarily comic accurate, because my recollection of most Superman stories is pretty damn serious. Comedy really wasn't his forte. Maybe there was a little joke here and there. But I think for the movie itself, it's fantastic. It was a very good movie. I won't say it was a great movie, but it certainly won me over. I'm very much looking forward to the next iteration from James Gunn. I like the Justice Gang. That was kind of fun. That was a lot of fun, actually. So again, the DC Now universe, as far as I'm concerned, is now open. Now, what they do moving forward, we'll see. But if this is the template moving forward, I think we have a lot of great entertainment for years to come.
Well, Supergirl is next on the list, man. We'll be seeing her next year.
That bothered me, though. At the very end, she's...
Stop it!
Oh, whoa. What? Am I still on? Okay. Oh, okay. That is a little... Okay. I wish I would have handled that a little better. Wish they would have handled it a little better. And Crypto, he reminded me...
He's going to spoil it. He's going to spoil something.
I will say this, though. Thanks to Crypto, 500% in dog adoptions have
really
raised
nice.
up. So
that's
kind of great, in my
really
opinion,
nice
that, people are out buying dogs and, adopting dogs, not buying dogs.
And real quick, we're going to end on a nice note. Like, honestly, from what you said to where you are now, Dan, you did a 180, and I appreciate that. And I think what I love hearing from you is that you have hope, right? That you have, obviously that's what this movie was about, hope and humanity, but you have hope for the future of where these characters that you love so much are going. And I love hearing that from you.
I went in with an honest, open view, and he had to win me over, meaning James Gunn, the whole thing. And he did. He did.
So
I'm on board, guys. I'm on board.
All right, big words. And that definitely ends the big beefs moment. His moment in the sun, as we like to say, is what we call his segment of news and rumors and all of that fun stuff. We are going to actually move on to our next segment, which will be Did You Know?
What? All right. I'm more breaking news. Susan's telling me that we have to go to a commercial break for slab decks.
Oh, Joe, get it ready. Let's go. I got the image. Here we go. Nope, that's not the image we need.
Slab decks. Slab decks. Because when you protect grails, you don't clean with retail. Slab decks for all your slab needs.
Facts. Well done, everybody. Well done. Smooth production quality, too. I love it. Speaking of production quality, we have Do You Know? We give little interesting facts of characters that you may or may not have heard of. And we have one more Fantastic Four member. That's right. What do you mean, one more Fantastic Four? We already went through the four. Well, actually, this is another member of the Fantastic Four. And I learned something, with this segment as well. Let's see if you did, too.
Did you know Herbie the robot was created because of a licensing issue? Before Herbie was a loyal member of the Fantastic Four, he was never supposed to exist. In 1978, the Fantastic Four were headed to Saturday morning cartoons. But there was one problem. The Human Torch was off limits. Why? Well, the reason wasn't because they thought kids would set themselves on fire. That's actually a myth. The real reason was because the Human Torch's rights were tied up for a solo movie that never got made. So Marvel legend Stan Lee turned to Jack Kirby, co-creator of the Fantastic Four, to help create a new fourth member. Enter Herbie the Robot. Herbie's debut was in the Fantastic Four cartoon in 1978, and fans were confused. But Herbie actually stuck around. In 1979, he made the leap to comics in Fantastic Four 209. By the 80s, Herbie became a fixture in the Baxter Building, and after decades in the background, Herbie's finally stepping into the spotlight, set to make his live-action debut in Marvel's Fantastic Four movie. So the next time you see Herbie roll onto the screen, remember, he was never Plan A. He was a licensing workaround who became a cult favorite, then a comic regular, and now finally on the big screen. Tell us your take. Herbie, unsung hero or glorified sidekick? Let us know in the comments. And if you didn't know, now you do.
I didn't know that. I really thought that it was they were worried about kids with life.
Yeah, that's what I was always told.
Well, Stanley had said that actually in an interview. He did, a million interviews, and that's one of the things he said.
Interesting, but it was also a rights issue, I guess, as well. Maybe it was a combination of both, but that's fascinating that they just wanted to do a Human Torch movie as opposed to Fantastic Four. But another thing I didn't know Jack Kirby helped create Herbie. So
didn't either.
Love that. So really, really cool.
I didn't even know about Herbie until it was announced he was going to be in the Fantastic Four First Steps movie.
I do
you did
remember.
not watch the 70s television show then.
I'm not that old.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Neither am I. Josh, you're like 2 years younger than me.
That's a lot of difference in time.
A lot of difference in time, for sure.
I'm not surprised because once Kirby went to DC in the 70s, when he came back, he was Jack Kirby. He still had a lot of clout. So all these changes with him and Stan Lee, in the Bronze Age and early Copper Age, I'm not surprised he had a hand in this whole thing.
It's really cool to see, actually, that as late as the 70s, like 16, 17 years after the Fantastic Four debuted, Jack goes back to, he's probably with DC at that point, right? So
early 70s, yes.
Yeah, so he's just like, help me with this. That's awesome that they got to work together like that again. All right, so we are going to move on to a segment we do where you ask Joe and the Cannon crew. But before we do, we're going to start needing some questions. See some questions in the chat here, because please put them in. We're going to say hello to a few people real quick. Caleb Leland in the house. Spud Comics in the house as well. Paul Bond, big contributor to the show. Thank you for what you've done. Derek Neiman in the house. We got, who else we got? We got Brian Klotz, aka Slick Jolly. We have Swaggle House. I don't know what the perspiration's for, but I hope you're staying cool.
That was the video that we showed.
Oh, so those
the
are
second one that Paul sent in for us.
Tears of joy. I'm hoping that's what those are. Nicole Schroeder in the house. Nuke's Comic, who wants Bronson back as Doctor, or actually wants Brosnan back as another Doctor, Dr. Doom. It's not a bad idea.
Whoa, dude's like 72.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it's a
you're gonna hate on people that are old now, Joe? You hate the elderly? Is that it?
My wife in the house here. Hello. And I think that's about it. So everybody get your questions in for Joe and the Cannon crew, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Ask Joe, ask Joe, ask Joe, ask Joe.
Okay, so like and subscribe if you have not done so already. But we have our first question here, which is ask pretty much only Joe. How do you crack open a CGC properly? I love how it's hashtag ask pretty much only Joe.
So I've cracked a bunch of slabs. There's a lot of ways to do it. I have a personal favorite way. I'll get to that last. Some people like to kind of pry it open. Usually use like a straight edge screwdriver, and you just get it in there, and then you just turn it so it kind of opens it up, and eventually it pops, and you can take everything out. Other people like to kind of grab it by the corners and twist it. I've seen Paul Bond do that before. I personally like this one method, and this specifically works really well with CGC slabs. I don't know if it works with other ones, but you get the slab, and right along here, you slam the seam, this line right here, onto the corner of like a countertop or something like that. Obviously, something that's not going to break. You don't want to do it on, something that could crack or whatever. You want something hard, marble edge, metal, wood, even just something on a hard edge. If you hit that, the back panel right here, this whole thing just pops right off, and you can pull the book right out. It's really, really simple, and it works every time as long as you hit it hard enough. Some people are afraid to do that. Understandable, but there is an inner well. There's an inner case that the comic is in, so it's going to be okay.
Interesting. So Bond has said with the new cases, you can't twist or smack them anymore. They're stronger now. But he says that still does work with the older cases. So
Paul Bond might have a little bit of hard time doing with it because he has those girly arms, as we know. That being said, real men like myself can can just twist it or smack it, and it breaks the slab. So it's okay, Paul. We'll help you out when you need help with it.
Josh, go ahead. I know you heard a phrase in there that's piqued your
You know
interest.
what, man? I think Joe, did pretty good, but I would honestly say, look, get a sledgehammer, crack that summit open, or if you got like a second-story house, toss it out the window, make sure it lands on concrete. The book will stay intact. The rest of the slab will crack, and then just peel it apart, and there you go.
We need an asterisk saying the opinions and views expressed by Josh do not represent comic book canon. Okay, so that's the only question we have. I think we're gonna have to end this segment early. Is that right?
Hey, listen, I'm okay with going to bed early. We've got still my favorite segment to go, fresh from the comic shop. So let's.
I mean, this is well, it's your second.
We got one more before that. I thought
we do. We have a segment here, but if we don't get a question by the time I press this button to end the segment,
just end it.
Yeah, just end it.
Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Ask Joe. And Jeff.
Oh, Ask Joe and the Cannon Crew. We're gonna have to change that soon. But that was the shortest Ask Joe and Cannon Crew we've ever had. But I needed to get to this segment because I'm loving it more and more each and every week. The judge doing his own segment here, and I'm going to just change because I have an ego and I have to be first. But we have another ruling from the bench with the illustrious Dan De La Torre, aka the judge. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If not, we're coming after you.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Ruling from the Bench. I'm Dan De La Torre. In this episode, we profile Fantastic Four Annual Number 20. In this issue, Dr. Doom kidnaps Franklin Richards in an attempt to confront Mephisto. The reason why is Mephisto possesses the soul of Dr. Doom's mother. Doom has been trying to desperately rescue his mother for many, many years and has failed each and every time. In this attempt, Doom offers Franklin Richards' soul in exchange for his mother's soul. Now, with Mephisto, who recently just entered the MCU, the Fantastic Four movie just around the corner, and the Avengers Secret Wars on its way, everything seems to be pointing to one character, Franklin Richards. This comic could be another piece to that puzzle. Written by Steve Englehart, who is one of my favorite writers, this book can be obtained for as low as $5 for a nice VG copy, around $20 for a very fine copy, about $100 for a CGC 9.8. Everyone, thanks for joining. For the Comic Book Canon Show, I'm Dan De La Torre, and this is Ruling from the Bench. Case dismissed.
Dan, like seriously,
right.
Coming from that slam, what do you do?
Hey, I've been doing weights, okay? I'm an old guy, but I've still got a couple muscles to flex here and there.
Listen, man, we don't see you as that, but we see you as muscular, not as an old guy, of course. I do want to
one thing, if you don't mind, I forgot to mention, and you guys probably didn't see it in the credits for the Superman movie. Steve Englehart, who worked for Marvel and DC, is one of the most undersung heroes. One of my favorite writers. He had influence in that Superman movie, and that makes sense because he's a fantastic writer.
That's fascinating. By the way, my wife loves this segment. So does Spuds, though. Adore the segment so much. Lovely, and also, ladies. Real quick, got to say hello to Tunish because I left him out. I'm a jerk. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting people off.
No, I'm good. Let's move on.
We will move on to a little segment we do call
Fresh from the comic shop. Your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share, don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop. Take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection. Because your fresh gets deserved the spotlight.
fresh indeed. I want to hear from you all in the chat. Is that intro too long? Do we need to change it up? Because we are getting a new sponsor, and we're supposed to have the sponsor introduce this episode because Naomi was supposed to interview the CEO, but she's sick, and we're having to postpone this kind of launch. We're excited to share this with you. Let us know in the chat if you think that's too long. I don't know. We've had that for 7 months. We haven't given out a case from Crafty because they went under, unfortunately. But they may be coming back. But in the meantime, we're getting a new sponsor. I'm sorry. What's that?
I said they're coming back.
They're coming back. Hopefully they're coming back. All right. Fresh from the comic shop. You send in your fresh gets on the Instagram. Use the hashtag FFTCS. Make sure you tag us on the picture, because most likely we will not see it if you don't tag us on the picture. And I got to call somebody out. Nukes Comics, you did not tag us on the picture, but I did see that you did submit, and it did say fresh from the comic shop. So I got you. But I can't always get the Ken crew can't always get you all the time. We can't always have your back. We are being twisted in every direction. We are the #1 show of all time, live show of all time. And it's interesting we brought in plays too, right, Joe?
It is. It's very
I
interesting.
mean, we never really factor that in, but it's a fact. So mathematically speaking, anyways, send your fresh get. Make sure 3 criteria you look for: a well-composed shot. Make sure you get artistic, have fun with it, have it relate back to the book. Number 2, a unique book. Joshua, what do you want to talk about with unique books?
Well, first I want to say it doesn't have to be $30,000.
No.
Could be $2, but show us something we haven't seen before. Perhaps a copy of Furry's number.
I got you, Joe. I got your back right there. I don't want to be talking about, for the rest of this show, I don't want to be talking about you and your love for furries or going to the furry convention in 2025. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about fresh gets, because this is fresh from the comic shop segment. And we have a final criteria that we do ask for, and that is pull at our heartstrings. Tell us what this book means to you. I'm telling you, that goes a very long way, as did last week with Raising Elm's submission with his vacation with his family and Lilo and Stitch. Is that how you pronounce it? Lilo or Lilo? I don't know.
Lilo.
Sorry, guys. Anyways, moving on. So we're just going to jump right into it. I have no fresh gets. Maybe the crew does have something that they want to show off. But before we ask them to show off theirs, we're going to show off Mark Leneker's right here. Actually, sorry. Nope, that's wrong. That is wrong, because we have, I'm sorry, Josh, I messed up. I'm so sorry, Josh. Anyways, this is great right here. Josh sends in, look out. Today, James Gunn released the first poster for Supergirl. Supergirl set to release June 26th next year. Yo, that's my anniversary, guys. Just want to let you know.
Nice.
Wow.
We got our first glimpse. I'm going to take Alicia to Supergirl. We got our first glimpse of Kara and her suit at the in her suit at the end of Superman, knowing that's a spoiler. They're following the Woman of Tomorrow story. And hearing nothing but great things about the film itself. I can't wait to see the DCU build out and give us more great DC content. Enjoy this beautiful copy of issue #1 for my fresh from the comic shop this week. Joshua, you did a great job there.
Fun fact, I'm taking that to Terrificon with me. It gets signed by Tom King.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Selling it for $1 billion next year, June 26th.
$1 billion for sure. Joseph, do you have any fresh gets?
Yeah, I've got 3 here. Why don't I just run through all of them quickly? So these 3 all came in a collection that I bought this week. Funny enough, this was a collection that was sitting in a house about a mile from my home. Saw it on Facebook Marketplace one day and messaged the guy and said, hey, let me come take a look. It was a pretty modern collection. The guy was a little bit older than me, probably in his early to mid 40s, I would say. He had collected comics as a kid and actually worked at a comic store in his teens as well. And it was pretty much majority 90s stuff. Now, one of the books that was in there, it's a book you don't see too often. Even, 90s stuff was pretty high print run. But this was towards the end of a run. It definitely didn't have as high of a print run as a lot of stuff. This is Moon Knight 57. It's got this incredible Stephen cover. And every time you get these books, Platt did the last 6 issues, issue 55 through 60, which is the last issue of Mark Spector Moon Knight. And they are very, very collectible issues because of the Platt cover, 55 is kind of the most expensive because it's his first. This one is probably the second most expensive because of the awesome Spider-Man cover here. In my opinion, and this is just an opinion, Platt does Todd McFarlane style, but better than Todd McFarlane.
Come on, man.
Listen, Todd McFarlane has done so much for the comic community, the comic industry. Phenomenal, businessman, phenomenal creator, and he's, really after Stan Lee, he's the second biggest name I think in comics. Even more so than Jack Kirby, I think at this point. That being said, I like Stephen Platt's artwork better than Todd McFarlane's, and they do have a very similar style. Moving on to the next one. This was the only Silver Age book in this entire collection. He had pretty much all late 80s and early 90s stuff. The late 80s looked like back issues that he had gotten, and the 90s stuff he was probably buying off the rack. But this was randomly in there. Amazing Spider-Man number 18. Early Amazing Spider-Man issue, randomly thrown in. There was actually in the back of a bag and board of a modern Spider-Man book. Lower grade copy. It's missing a corner. I already have a copy in my personal collection, so this one will be up for grabs. And it is the first appearance of Ned Leeds, who now plays a pretty big role in the MCU Spider-Man films. He's probably going to be continuing in that role. And then this one's cool. This one you don't really come across too often because this was a mail away. I think from what I remember, this was like a UNICEF mail away. Spider-Man Special Edition number 1. And it's got this awesome Jim Craig cover of Spider-Man versus Venom. And it's got this like kind of gold trade dress up here. Again, it came polybagged, like in like it's almost like a polybag envelope. And it was, from UNICEF. You had to mail away from it. And I think a lot of these probably got bent, probably got dinged up in the mail and stuff like that. But this is a really sharp copy. This one might be going to CGC. We're going to see. I think it's definitely worthy of a potential 9.8.
That's a nice looking book right there. Mm-hmm. Those are some great grabs, some great fresh gets for sure. I had a question about your first one, and I can't remember what it was. But, it should have a poster in it, Mark Lineker says, by the way, BTW. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to move on. I don't remember what my question was.
It actually, the cool thing about this, I actually had to cut this out of the original bag that it came mailed in. So it definitely is complete in there.
That's amazing. Excellent job for sure. We got we got real Caleb Leland up next. Evening Comic Fam, I hear you saying Cable. He did put Cable, by the way. That's a huge stack of books. Is there a story behind this acquisition? I'm glad you asked, because yes, there certainly is. Grab a snack. This is going to be long. This young man working at the store I've worked at, I pretty much known him his whole since he was born. Watched him grow up and recently found out he's into comic books. He recently was gifted a large collection from someone else, but since he's primarily a Marvel collector, he asked if I wanted any PC or indie books. I told him I'd take them off his hands if he really didn't want them. I didn't think that the stack would be so big or so full of goodies. Here we have Extreme Issue 0, a book that you could only get by mail order. It's a collection of titles released by Rob Layfield's Extreme Studios. This is a book that I've never seen in the wild, nor have I had I ever heard of it. But I'm glad it found a place on my PC. I know we all say that this is the best community on the planet, but we really are. So I'm submitting this for Fresh from the Comic Shop before I dig through my other books and find something to help pay this young man back. Much love as always, and do what you can to get the next generation into the hobby. So well said. I love this submission. I've never seen this book. This does feel unique to me, guys. I don't know if you agree with that sentiment. I'd like to hear those takes right now, real quick.
Awesome. I mean, anytime someone can, give the gift of comics, and this is one reason why I usually try to have a box of free comics for kids at shows. Mm-hmm. I give out comics on, I almost said Thanksgiving. Nope, that's Halloween. That's the holiday. Just being able to kind of give something along to someone else and maybe spark an interest. It's such a cool way to, share things with the next generation, or just doesn't necessarily have to be someone younger or, someone that you're passing it down to necessarily. It can just be a friend who you decide to, I know multiple of my friends have borrowed trade paperbacks from me, or, certain runs that I said that they should read, recommend to them. The gift that keeps on giving, comic books.
For sure. Joshua, do you have anything, any gets you want to show off?
Yeah, I'll show off 3 real quick if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I got these. They've been sitting in my bin for about a month, but I think I got all 3 of them from Joe, actually, if I'm not mistaken. The Brave and the Bold, issue number 191, a fantastic Joker, Penguin, and Batman cover. I collect a lot of Joker covers now. It's kind of like a different project for me, so I love collecting those.
I like that cover.
You're gonna love this too, Dan. Superman issue number 162.
Yes.
And this is the 3rd appearance of General Zod. It's about a 4.0 to a 4.5. Zod, I think we probably potentially will see him again one day, hopefully on the big screen. But I thought, collecting this is great. I also think it's the first appearance of the Red Superman, if I'm not mistaken. It's a different, family take on Superman. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the last book I picked up, this is from Pope of Chillytown, and this is The Boys, issue number 52. And this is the first appearance of the original Soldier Boy. And knowing that we got a show coming out in the next year or two, and then set in the 1950s with the original Soldier Boy, I'm excited to see that. And so those are my 3 fresh grats.
I don't like giving you kudos, but well done.
Yeah, that's a nice 3. Nice comics.
For sure. Like and subscribe if you have not done so yet. We are going to move on to our next submission, which is Mark Leneker this time. Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham #1 from 1985. It's the 40th anniversary of the first Star comic published by Marvel. And an imprint geared for younger readers, this feeder reader attempt was short-lived, but left an impression on a generation of comic aficionados. Perhaps more pertinent for today, this is also the first Dr. Doom and Fantastic Furs.
Again with the furs.
Yeah, I got, first of all, it's a great submission. That's a fun book right there. But we don't want to be continuously talking about this with Joe.
I had nightmares last week when we got it. Can we just move on? I don't want to go back to my therapist. Really?
Well, I don't think you'll need to go back to your therapist today, at least, because all you need to do, honestly, is just take a swig of Slab Dex, right? It makes everything better.
Good.
Everything better. I mean,
I'll take a double shot of that. I was emotionally scarred last week. Okay.
Yeah, of course you were, but let's just keep in mind it's because when you want to protect grails, you don't clean with retail. So please let us know, everybody in the chat, what you use your Slab Dex for.
Here, Dan, open your mouth.
There we go. Oh,
just for the drops that are getting away. Thank you.
There we go. All right.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I feel better already.
I knew you would. All right, we're going to move on to another one here. This is a great submission by Slick.
It's got an aftertaste. Hold on a second here.
Minty?
That's better.
Much better. Okay. Slick Jolly. Since Cygor was created as a character in the Spawn comic, I've always been a huge fan. At the Hershey Comic Con yesterday, I finally got a chance to meet Kevin Conrad, who was one of the artists who first brought the character to life. Hold on, what a treat to meet him and hear stories of how Cygor came to be. He then gave me what is easily one of my most prized comics of all time, a sketch cover that absolutely blew me away when he handed it to me. I present it here. Hold on. Look at that. I present it here as the centerpiece with some of my other Cygor covers, including his original first appearance in issue number 38. I just love this hobby. I love this story. I love everything about this submission. And that's unique for sure, because it's a sketch done for him specifically. So well done. So well done. So thank you, Slick Jolly, for sharing that with us. Dan, do you have any fresh sketches you want to share?
I do, real quick.
Go for it.
3 of them. What I love about this is with the Fantastic Four movie coming up, how white this cover is. Fantastic Four number 118. the 20-cent era, I consider it the tail end of the Silver Age, early Bronze Age, and just a fun cover and a fun story. I won't get into it. We don't have time. And I've been getting into DC books when they present themselves. And this is Green Lantern number 45, and it's got Hal Jordan, my favorite Green Lantern, and the original Green Lantern. And shout out to Guy Gardner. He was funny as shit in the movie.
Oh, great, huh?
Wait a second. The original Green Lantern was Alan Scott, sir.
I know. This is not, pardon me, not the, I misspoke. I forget who this was.
Oh.
Again, I'm rapid firing this guy here.
Oh, I didn't see him down there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, Green Lantern is kind of underrated. I grew up with DC before I got into Marvel, and this is the third copy I have, and I want to get if I can, a much higher grade. This is pretty high grade, but it's not a 9.8, and it's the first Beta Ray Bill.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's on his way. And again, this is when Walt Simonson began. It's a newsstand, but he was a fabulous writer and artist, and so when he did the Thor run, it was just great reading. Really was. So
those are some great gets. I never appreciated Walt Simonson like when I was a kid reading his books, but I have loved his art more. It's like mature. It's like there's something about it, especially going back, looking at how amazing he is, and with all of his works and titles he's worked on. So well done there. We're going to move on to our last two submissions here. We got the man himself. Hold on. Got it. Never mind. Streaming artists, it's becoming more difficult. But that's something for me to deal with. Raising Elm Comics. Howdy, comic fam. While we were on vacation, we visited some stores in Foley, Alabama, and we just happened upon a comic store, Covert Comics. Hold on. See. Sorry, guys. I'm the worst. I am the worst.
Don't blame yourself. I've heard other people complain about StreamYard.
It is so bad, guys. They're changing stuff, and it makes it really difficult. And we just Covert Comics. Just kidding. I totally researched all the comic book stores that we would be along our route weeks before we were actually left. Covert Comics is truly an amazing store, which is bound to have something satisfying for your nerdy cravings. And now I have to find the picture again here, which is right there. That one. Look how big that store is.
Wow.
As Lady Luck would have it, they had a decent mid-grade copy of Strange Tales 117, which is hard to get in mid-grade. I'll bring that original picture up right now, which is mid-grade, mid to high grade because of the yellow cover. One book closer to completing my Strange Tales run from 110 to 188. We also had a small game room where we stayed that had a Williams 1968 Lady Luck pinball machine, which we played with Eli a few times. We had a blast. Much love, comic fam. I love this submission. I do.
Now, where do you say you got that pinball machine? Because that strikes a chord with me.
It was at the place that he was staying.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't at the comic shop.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, which is maybe it's an Airbnb that had a freaking pinball machine, which is awesome.
That looks like a very old pinball machine.
Oh yeah, it's 1968.
Okay, wow,
that's what he said. So, all right, and our final submission, not eligible, but also is Josh's nemesis is Nori Jordan.
Here we go again.
I'm sorry, it's second to last. Oh, I can't stand you, Streamline. This week I made progress in my journey to obtain every Thunderbolts book ever made. The few newsstands have been difficult to locate, but I was fortunate and found two. The print runs on these are extremely low, so finding two in 1 week was very lucky. If my research is correct, I need at most 3 more books and could be as low as 1. Hopefully I can wrap this up soon. Take care, everyone. Surprise, surprise, a Thunderbolts book. I know. And then we have Nukes Comics, which I don't know where it is. Can we do another Slab Decks commercial, please?
Have you ever wanted your slabs to shine and shimmer in the sunlight like a radiant being? Well, Slab Decks can provide that shine and shimmer to every one of your slabs for the low price of $19.99 a bottle. Slab Decks, because when you protect your grails, you don't clean with retail.
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't know we hired a professional.
Wait, Jeff, go to a Slab Decks commercial. I got one.
Oh, you do?
Oh boy.
There we go.
1 slab, One man, one bottle of Slabdex. The universe is in his hands. Slabdex, only good enough for you grails.
That was beautiful, Josh.
It's wonderful. Like, let's just wrap this up, please. Nukes Comics, first from the comic shop, Marvel Superheroes, Secret Wars #6. The Wasp crashes in a swamp, befriends an injured lizard, but is shot and captured by the wrecking crew. While Doom revives the unstable Claw to rally his minions against Galactus. As the X-Men fail to stop a volcanic attack and tensions rise among the heroes, Galactus nears completion of his world-devouring device under the watch of a mysterious observer. Covered by Bob Layton, interiors by Mike Zeck, and words by Jim Shooter. Rest in peace. I found this while long boxing at DBS. Good stuff indeed. Well done there, everybody. All right. So here we are at the end of the show, Joseph. We have to make a decision on what book moves next to the next semifinals #2. We'll have semifinals. I'll get that up tonight, actually, after the show. It's Dubai time right now. It's 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
I'm a little tired. So, but I'm doing this again, sacrifice. The judge is not here right now. I'm not sure where he is. I did see him put his attire on. So, Joe, I must ask you, do you have a thought as to who you would like?
There are quite a few. I mean, man, I love Raising Elms, but he's not eligible, right? He won last week. There are quite a few standouts. Let me just drop one for you right here. That would be the original art one by by Slick Jolly. Obviously very unique and phenomenal. And this is a character that, this is not like an A-tier comic book character. This is a Spawn supporting character. I'm pretty sure I've sold Cygor books to Brian before. I know this is a character that he really enjoys. But yeah, this is super cool. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to explain that getting something from an artist that you like and an artist that worked on a character that you like, that definitely checks some boxes there. And that looks really good too.
It's an incredible, that's not the one. That is an incredible looking it's sketched, like, seriously, that's amazing. It's one of one as well.
Of course.
I love the shadow too on the bottom too.
So
it's
good. So good. Anyways, so we have to make a decision. And I had to say, I did love Justin's Raising Elms submission. This week specifically, though, I would, even if he wasn't up for vote for first semifinals, I wouldn't see him beating this one, which is rare because I love almost everything Justin puts in.
Right.
And I think you and I are on the same page here in terms of nominating the next semifinalist to have the judge, who's back, actually. Sorry, everybody. Hello, Judge. So, Joe, do you want to do it at the same time? You want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Hold on. Oh, my finger slipped.
Oh, God.
Just another reminder. I do not want to be talking about Joe and his furry obsession. We can't get away from it, guys.
Wow.
I'm going to go Slick Jolly.
That's where I was leaning as well. Awesome story behind it. Certainly unique. I love that it included a picture with the artist himself. That's great.
Yeah, for sure. Everything, hits on many notes here. So, Judge, we have put this forth to you to make the final judgment. What say you?
Before I rule, I just discovered a side effect with Slabdex. It makes you pee. You couldn't help myself. I had to go. So is that on the warning label? Is there a side effect for this?
Even if it was, we can't talk anything bad about Slabdex.
I'm just saying.
May cause frequent and excessive urination. That comes on very strongly during YouTube shows.
And it did, yeah. Probably the older you are, the worse it gets. Anyway, back to the ruling here, guys. Yes, who is who? I'm sorry, refresh my memory.
We're going with Slick Jolly with the original art submission, also meeting the artist, and just being a huge fan of the character Cygor.
Oh, that's a great story. It really is. And when you get those original arts, they're one of a kind. So that's just a great submission. Yeah. So anyway. Slick Jolly, you are the winner for this week. Congratulations. Case dismissed.
Well done, Judge. Well done, everybody on the Canon crew. We're going to move towards ending the show right now. We want to give a shout out to Naomi. Hopefully she is feeling better. Give her some well wishes on the
Dude,
socials.
she's in Wakanda. We talked about this.
Oh, did she have did she probably caught some bird flu or something before she
she's
left?
healing up in Wakanda. You know, she's getting
malaria.
some R&R, much needed R&R from the Canon.
Anyways, so yeah, Joe, you're heading to Tokyo tomorrow. I'm in Dubai heading back, so maybe our planes will go like that.
Wave to each other.
Wave, yeah, wave. High five.
Just very busy for the Canon, us Canon crew members. Just trying to, again, try and keep the #1 spot for as long as we can. Obviously, probably until we decide to end the show, which is not even close to happening now, unless somebody paid us to. You know what I mean? But it has to be a large sum of money. With that said, I love spending these days with you and mornings now that it's morning out in Dubai. Joseph, your thoughts on Tokyo?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this trip. I need it. A lot of I missed my trip that was supposed to be a couple weeks ago to Charlotte for Heroes Con, and I really have not. I took one small trip earlier this year, one small vacation to Atlanta, and it's been many months since I've had really any time off. So this week is going to be great. It's actually a business trip that I'm going on that I'm extending it into a vacation. So yeah, it should be a good time
for sure. Big Beef.
Actually, I mean, I thought Joe was supposed to tell us what he's bringing back for everybody in the Canon.
That's true. Actually, good point.
I'm bringing back
sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah, bring us back some sushi.
That's actually no, for real though. For those of you who couldn't guess, I'm not actually going to Japan. I'm actually going back to Denver, where I was last year, and I got to meet our very own Tunish Lurker and Frost Behemoth. And we last year we went to this sushi place, best sushi I've ever had in my entire life. It's called Tamaki Den. So if you're ever in Denver, go to Tamaki Den.
Okay.
Which you wouldn't think Denver would be a sushi
real,
place,
no.
but the owner has a brother who lives is like a fisherman in Japan or something like that, and like ships it directly. Like it is good stuff.
Wow.
Everything from various types of fish to like sea urchin and stuff like that. But that will be the Wednesday night evening of the trip is definitely a trip to Tamaki Den, and then of course Thursday night will be Fantastic Four.
Can you get a Rocky? I've never seen. I'm a baseball guy, so I'd love to see the Rockies at Mile High Stadium. Is that a possibility?
So I did that last year. Last year I was there. I saw it was the cheapest game in the world because it was Rockies Nationals, and no one like it. I had dead center field, maybe like eight rows back or something like that. My ticket was $16.
That's unbelievable.
Phenomenal stadium. Actually affordable food and stuff like that, and good food. And they recently in the past couple of years got a jumbotron that is shaped like the Rocky Mountains.
Oh wow!
And behind the jumbotron is the actual Rocky Mountains, so it looks awesome.
Oh, that's
definitely
cool.
Very cool stadium. I was very happy to be able to go check that out. Yeah. Anyway, Coors Field. Yeah,
it's Coors Field. Oh, there used to be
Mile High Stadium.
Right.
Is the
right.
That's
NFL.
Yeah,
right. That's right. That's thank you.
But Tunish, I'll be out this week. If you want to see Fantastic Four as a group on Thursday, if you're around, I'm just saying we could get together on Thursday. That's like the only day I really have free to do anything. But let's see Fantastic Four on Thursday.
Big Beef.
Yeah, so another great night here in the Canon. Just having a good time with you guys and our furry friends. I mean furry friends, for Joe. But
hey, we don't want to talk about this anymore. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I
haven't eaten yet.
Hey guys, we have a busy week ahead of us. Fantastic Four drops this Thursday. I know some of you are going to see it Thursday night. Probably end up seeing it like Saturday after I get off work personally, but we will be doing a non-spoiler review. I hope everybody can see it before Sunday. I'm very excited for that. And, right now it's an exciting time to be a comic book fan, especially for movies and stuff. Superman was fantastic. I'm sure Fantastic Four will be as well. So thank you guys. Subscribe, like to Comic Book Canon, the #1 rated YouTube show ever in history for comic books.
Ever.
Please.
For anything. All time.
It's the #1 live show of all time.
All time.
All time. The Judge, please.
I'm happy that to be on the show. This show is growing. We're evolving. We're putting more things in, all for your entertainment. So again, we have a great crew here, all 5 of us, and Naomi's not here. Good chemistry with everybody here. So it's just a pleasure and honor to be on this show. And I look forward to seeing you guys next weekend because, again, it's a huge week with the Fantastic Four. It's special for me because I'm just now reintegrating with my old love, the DC Universe, thanks to James Gunn. Huge congratulations to him. He did a fantastic job. Winning one of the biggest critics over me, I'm now totally on board, and I'll be just reliving love with the Fantastic Four next week. So it's going to be a great, great time next week.
And we didn't mention Comic-Con, but Josh is going to be really busy next week. So the news segment.
We talked about this. DC will only have a panel for Peacemaker Season 2. Marvel will not have a panel at all. But however, tonight,
it's close to removing.
We had a ton of news drops. So we'll talk about MCU stuff this week coming up as well.
Want to end the show? Oops.
Poof, and there he goes.
Anyways, if you haven't seen it, go see Fantastic Four when it comes out. I'm seeing it on Saturday. I cannot wait. And again, please be good to yourself, be good to others, everybody. Until then, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Maybe that's